The remainder has to be 0. Okay. I'll repeat again because I think we were on mute, so you all couldn't hear. It said, find all the zeros of 2x4 minus 3x cube minus 3x square plus 6x minus 2 if its two zeros are root 2 and minus root 2. Now, if the zeros are that means x minus root 2 and x plus root 2 are the factors. If these are the factors, when I multiply them, I'll get x square minus root 2 square, that is nothing but 2. So x square minus 2, that is also a factor. A minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. I've used that identity. So this is also a factor. So if x square minus 2 is a factor, divide the polynomial by x square minus 2. So I divide this. So I'll multiply this by 2x square. 2x square into x square gives me 2x4. And 2x square into minus 2 gives me minus 4x square. I write square term below square term, power 4 term below power 4 term. I don't write anything below cube term because there is no cube term. Okay. I can add or subtract only like terms. I can add or subtract only like terms. So 2x4 minus 2x4 is 0. Bring minus 3x cube as it is down. Minus 3x square plus 4x square gives me plus 1x square. Bring 6x as it is, minus 2 as it is. Okay. Then I want minus 3 over here. So multiply by minus 3 and I want x cube. So x minus 3x into x square gives me minus 3x cube. Minus 3x into minus 2 is plus 6 right below x term. Plus 6. Subtract, signs will change. Minus 3x cube plus 3x cube is 0. Bring x square as it is down. Plus 6x minus 6x is 0. Bring minus 2 as it is down. So I have x square minus 2. X square and x square both are the same over here. Just multiply by 1. So 1 into x square gives me x square. 1 into minus 2 gives me minus 2. Subtract, the signs will change. So I'll have remainder 0. As I said, the remainder has to be 0. The remainder has to be 0 because it is a factor. If you're getting something else when you say it is a factor, that means you're making a mistake. You have to get it as 0. Okay. So we have just now got. So now we write this 2x4 minus 3x cube minus 3x square plus 6x minus 2, that is dividend, equals to divisor, that is x square minus 2 into quotient, that is 2x square minus 3x plus 1. 2x square minus 3x plus 1. Now we have to factorize this 2x square minus 3x plus 1, which we factorize by splitting the middle term. So this I will write over here as x square minus 2 into bracket 2x square minus 2x minus x plus 1. 2x square minus 2x minus x plus 1. Then these two are like terms. So I'll have x square minus 2 square bracket. From this I can remove 2x common. So I'll have x from here. From here nothing is left, so minus 1. From here there is nothing common, so minus 1. But since minus 1 has come outside, signs inside will change. So minus x will become plus x, plus 1 will become minus 1. Plus 1 will become minus 1. Why? Because there is a minus sign outside the bracket. Okay. So that will now be equal to x square minus 2 into bracket. From this, x minus 1 is common. And the remainder, that is 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1. So we have factorized it. So now we can say ये दो जीरो तो already यहाँ से मिल चुके हैं. इसके ये दो zeros हैं, which we are going to say. Therefore, x minus 1 equal to 0 or 2x minus 1 equal to x equals to 1 or 2x equals to 1. That is x equal to 1 or x equals to 1 upon 2. So these are the other two zeros, 1 and 1 upon 2. Okay. Therefore, root 2 comma minus root 2 comma 1 and comma 1 and 1 upon root 2 are the zeros of the given polynomial. Zeros of the given polynomial. Okay. Copy this. Anything not understood, please ask. Okay. So now that you have done this, this brings us to the end of this chapter. Okay. And as I said, we'll be starting today pairs of linear equation in two variables. Any difficulties in this chapter? Otherwise, I'll start with the new chapter. If you all have no difficulties, then we'll start with that new chapter. Of course, you have done similar thing chapter in 9th standard also. Okay. This we are going to go one step ahead. Linear equations in two variables. Last year also you had done linear equations. In fact, you had two chapters, one variable and two variable, both you had done. So any equation which is written in the form of ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Ax plus by plus c equal to 0 is called as linear equation in two variables. Is called as linear equation in two variables. Okay, the degree or the power or the index of x and y cannot be greater than 1. That means you cannot have a square term or a cube term or to the power 4. None of that. The power has to be only 1. Okay, only then it is called as a linear equation. If it is -1, for example, if it is like this, this is nothing but ax raised to -1 plus by raised to 1. This is also not a linear equation. The power has to be only 1. It cannot be less than 1. It cannot be more than 1. Okay, it cannot be other than 1. If the power is 1, then it is called as a linear equation. If there are two variables like x and y, then in two variables, then it is linear equation in two variables. Okay, we are going to see how to solve them. Of course, what happens when the power is 2, then it becomes a quadratic equation, which is what is the next chapter which we are going to see. When the power is 3, it becomes a cubic. When the power is 4, it becomes biquadratic. Cubic and biquadratic are not part of your syllabus, but linear and quadratic, both of them are there. So we are going to see them. First, we do linear. Subsequently, the next chapter that we are going to do will be quadratic. So ax plus by plus c equal to 0. The condition here is a and b both at the same time cannot be equal to 0. That means one of them at one time can be 0. If a is 0, it is acceptable provided b is not 0. Okay, a and b are real numbers. A and b are real numbers, and in fact a, b, c all are real numbers, and A, B, and C are real numbers, and A and B both at the same time are not 0. One of them is 0, that is okay. That can happen. You can have AX plus 0Y plus C equals to 0. Or you can have 0x plus by plus c equal to 0. But you can't have 0x plus 0y plus c equal to 0. That will not work. One of them has to have a value other than 0. Okay, so this is what is a linear equation. Okay, this is what is a linear equation in two variables. A and B are not both 0. That is important at the same time. Okay. One of them being 0, that is okay. Now we will see, or rather, this AX plus by plus c is nothing but an equation of a straight line. Geometrically, this is an equation of a straight line. Okay, AX plus by plus c is an equation of a straight line. So any point on this line will fulfill this equation. Okay, that means those values of x and y which fulfill this equation will lie on this line. For example, if we take, let's say 2x plus 3y equals to 5, for example. Okay, if we have taken 2x plus, let's say this is that line, 2x plus 3y equals to 5. Then for x equal to 1 and y equal to 1, that point will lie on this line, because 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1, that is 2 plus 3 equals to 5. So 1 comma 1 will lie on this line. Any other value which also fulfills this condition, any other value which also fulfills this condition, okay, that also will lie on this line. For example, so if x equals to minus 2 and y equals to 3, x equals to minus 2, y equals to 3, what will happen? So 2 into minus 2 plus 3 into 3 equals to 5. 2 into minus 2 is minus 4 plus 9 equals to 5. That is 5 equals to 5. So this fulfills this condition. So minus 2 comma 3 will also lie on this point, on this line. 1 comma 1 will also lie somewhere over here. Minus 2 comma 3. So all these points which fulfill this equation will lie on this line, or the other way around, all the points on this line, all the points will fulfill this equation. All points on this line will fulfill this equation, or the equation, the values which fulfill this equation are points on this line. Is that clear? The relation? Okay. So that is what it means. Every solution to the equation is a point on the line representing it. Every solution to the equation is a point on the line representing it. That is what it means. Every solution of the equation is a point on the line representing it, or vice versa, as I had said. Okay. Till here, are we clear? Now, in this chapter, we will not be solving only one equation, but we will be solving two equations simultaneously, because as I have just shown you over here, if I take only one equation, there will be multiple values which can be there, like x equal to 1, y equal to 1, both of them. So 1 comma 1. I always write x first, y second. X first, y second. So there are multiple solutions which are there. Okay. And how many? Infinite solutions, because it is just a line. On one line, there are infinite points. So there will be infinite such solutions for only one equation. So what is the exact value of x and y? Difficult. But when there is a pair of equations, equations, that means there are two equations. Two equations, that means there are two lines. If there are two equations, that means there are two lines. So if there are two lines, there are three distinct possibilities that can happen with respect to two lines. What are these three possibilities? Let's understand. The three possibilities with respect to these two lines, let's understand them. What can happen? These could be the two lines. That means they intersect. Okay, you pause this thing. The two lines can intersect. Now, if they intersect, they'll have only one point in common. Okay. They'll have only one point in common. That means only this point, let's call it A, will be lying on first line, and point A will also be lying on the second line. That means whatever is the value of A will fulfill or satisfy both the equations. So you'll have only one common point. That means you will have a unique solution. You'll have a unique solution. You'll have a unique solution. Then it's possible that the lines run parallel to each other. They run parallel to each other. If they're parallel, obviously they'll not have any common point. No common point. They'll have no common point. So whatever is on line 1 will not be on line 2. What point is on line 2 will not be there on line 1. So there will be no common point. That means there will be no solution. There will be no solution. For the pair, for individual lines, there will be multiple solutions. But for both of them simultaneously, no solution. And third possibility is you have line 1 and you have line 2, which is just lying on it. Okay, we have line 2 just lying on it. That means it is coincident. Okay, it is coincident. Okay, that means it is overlapping. So how many common points? Multiple common points. Multiple common points. So what about the solution? Infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. Okay, so either the lines will intersect, that means they'll have one single solution or a unique solution, or the lines will be parallel, that means they'll have no common point or no solution, or third case, it will be the lines will be coincident, that means they'll have multiple common points and they'll have infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. Every point on line 1 is on line 2. Every point on line 1 is on line 2. Every point in line 1 is on line 2. So there will be infinite, because there are infinite points on one line. So there will be infinitely many solutions if the lines are coincident. Till here, are we clear? Draw this table so that you will remember this later on also before we proceed further. Draw this table. Okay, this is the geometric way of representing, and ax plus by plus c is the algebraic way of representing a line. Okay, ax plus by plus c, when we write, that is an algebraic way of representing a line, and when we draw it, that is a geometric way of representing. keep your graph books ready with you so that when we meet on Tuesday, we will be plotting the graphs also. Okay, on Tuesday we will be doing so that we know how to solve graphically, because that is what is your next topic that is there. Okay, plotting it or solving it graphically. That means we'll be drawing those lines. Okay, and we will. अच्छा, इसके साथ में अभी क्योंकि हम टेबल बना ही रहे हैं, एक और चीज भी लिखते चलो, which I'll explain it to you subsequently in the next class, which is also going to be there later on. But since the table is being done, we can have one more column which makes life easier for us later on. Okay. Here you can say okay, we will see, as I said, it is ax plus by plus c. So when there are two lines, first one will have a1, b1, c1. Second one will be a2, b2, c2. So when this is there, here you will see a1 upon a2 is not equal to b1 upon b2. a1 upon a2 not equal to b1 upon b2. Here it will be a1 upon a2 equal to b1 upon b2 not equal to c1 upon c2. a1 upon a2 equals to b1 upon b2 but not equals to c1 upon c2, and here it will be a1 upon a2 equals to b1 upon b2 equals to c1 upon c2 equals to c1 upon c2. We'll see this later on, as I said, when we solve that time. I'll explain it more again that time, but in the table, this will be better if you do it now, where whatever table you are making, in that, if you write it now, it becomes easier for you to correlate. You don't have to make two tables. Once you're finished with the table, let me know. Have you all done? Ahad, Kihan, have you all finished till here? This table. So as I said, we will need the graph books when we are going to solve. How to solve? We will see. We will take that equation, whatever equation it is. For example, x minus y equal to 0 or x minus 2y equal to 0, for example. So then what we are going to do is we are going to substitute some value for x, find the value of y. Then substitute another value of x, find the value of y. Like that, we are going to get 3 points of x and y. We'll get 3 values of x and y. Then we are going to plot those 3 points on the graph paper, draw that line. Then for the second equation, again we are going to find 3 pairs of values for x and y. Plot the second line. See where both the lines, whether they intersect or not. If they intersect, where do they intersect? Wherever they intersect, that is our solution. If they're not intersecting, if they're parallel, then we will say they have no solution. And if they're overlapping, we will say they have infinitely many solutions. So ideally, we will plot those 2 lines, and to plot one line, we'll take minimum of 3 points. Actually, you need minimum only 2 points to plot a line, but to be on the safe side, we are going to plot with 3 points. Okay, not 4, because that will consume lots of time. 3 should be sufficient. So we will be plotting with 3 points. How to find those points, how to plot those points, that is what we'll see inshallah on the next class, that is Tuesday. That is what we'll see on Tuesday. So are we clear till here? Ahad, have you finished? Abdul Ahad, have you finished? The table. Have you finished drawing the table? Okay. So both of you have done this, fine. Now we will proceed further next time on Tuesday. Till that time, whatever you have done, just go through it. Whatever doubts, queries, questions, please do ask. Do not hesitate. Feel free to ask your doubts. Now is the time to get those doubts cleared and corrected. Okay. Should we stop over here now? Yes, Kian, you will have tests, but I don't want to give you tests where you will not just at home. I want it to be in front of me, so I'm waiting. We'll have tests on all the things that we have done, all the chapters, each and every chapter, but it will be in the classroom in front of me with the time restriction. Okay. So yes, you have to be prepared for the test. Only thing is, we cannot do it now because I want you all to do it in front of me. Okay. That's the only thing. If you're finished with this, then we'll wind up for today. Okay. Stay home, pray at home. Take care. Bye.